In this Zoomcast, we are going to be talking about doing business with Colombia. Colombia is a South American country, a population of about 53 million people, so just slightly more than Canada has, a GDP of 462 billion dollars, so about a quarter of what Canada has. However, there are trade opportunities in Colombia. What do they have that we need? What do we have that they need? To help us with the conversation and talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly for doing business in Colombia is Peter Hawkins. Peter is the Senior Vice President with Mellow Hawk Logistics, and he is an award-winning entrepreneur. He is also the chair of the Mississauga Board of Trade International Trade Committee, and he joins us today to talk about business in Colombia. Welcome, Peter.
Thanks so much, Dave. Great to be here.
There are lots of trade opportunities in Colombia. So let's talk about that. What do they have that we need other than coffee? Because we know that great coffee comes from Colombia. What do we have that they need?
What we have that they need is technology. Okay, full stop. And telecommunications is something that's very, very important. And then any kind of technology that would introduce Colombia to the world. They also need tourism. They need infrastructure. And so there are opportunities on many different levels. And there is a big desire to think North American. So consultants are actually in demand there. I've watched three different trade missions go, and the people that actually scored some very interesting opportunities were the ones who told Colombians how to behave. I'm sorry, I don't mean to trivialize it, but I'm just saying those, leadership consultants and DES consultants, et cetera. So I find that very, very interesting. Um, I have spent a lot of time in Bogota, and Bogota is up in the mountains, and it's cool and beautiful, and the city is very beautiful. Cartagena is very warm and hot. San Andreas is the tourist island. If you want to go down to there and hear French, it's going to be full of Quebecois down there. So it's been really interesting to go to these places. And Colombia is very interested in Canada, and less so because of what's going on with the United States, and more so because we have a free trade agreement with it. So full stop. We have free trade. We don't know how to use it. We don't know how to leverage it. We should try. And so what we do is, what do I say, Dave? Every time you want to enter a new market, you got to go.
You got to go there. You got to go, and you've just named like three fantastic spots to go, but those are known as vacation spots. What are when we think about China, we think about Shanghai, you think about these other places, but then there's actually a province in China where a lot of the businesses, the manufacturers are.
Yeah, Shandong.
Where do
Yeah.
you go in Colombia to do business?
Well, Bogota, Medellin, Cartagena are all places you do it. Those are the places. And it depends on where the head office is of the place you want to sell to. The nice thing is you can do a lot of stuff for free before you even start. Okay, you get online, you have a look, you reach out to Pro Colombia here. They have great representation here, and find out what sectors are growing, who wants to come here, and what do they want to buy from us. There's a real give and take there. That's very, very nice. It's on the same time zone as the Pacific, so that makes it super easy. The population is very sophisticated. The life sciences, health and beauty, infrastructure, tourism, and consulting, I think, would be the fastest growing areas. Mining is always there, of course, and on their end, they're trying to they have jewelry manufacturing and precious stones, some chemicals, and coffee, enormous amounts of coffee and different kinds of coffee and different ways to measure coffee. Keeping in mind, people tell me all the time, I'm going to bring in some Colombian coffee. And I warn them that I don't know if I should use the word mafia, but there certainly is a very well controlled coffee market with some dominant players here in Canada. And so it's hard to break in. That said, going down and doing business, Colombia and Brazil are the two countries, and Argentina to some extent, you have to dress the part. Okay? The person with the shiniest shoes, the most expensive suit is the boss. And so
Oh.
understand that. And if you do understand that, business will go very quickly and smoothly for you. with the opportunities that you have, with the amount of trade missions going down, with the free trade agreements, where the free trade agreements means you must have a certificate of origin. It's the only time it's valuable, so you take advantage of it. Then you can go down and sell stuff. It's quite open on terms of what products can go in. Again, getting money out is difficult. And so
Mhm.
getting money out means having some conversations about that. But if there are Canadian branches of Canadian banks in Colombia, which there are some, that might be the route to take, as well as using some of those other instruments, those remittances and other platforms that let you move money around too, with
Peter, when we've talked
minimal
about some
wage.
of these other countries, and we talk about getting there and the the amount of time that it takes to fly there. Certainly, flying to Colombia is not like flying to China. It's it's a much shorter flight. What about transit and transportation and shipping goods to Colombia? It's right at the top of South America. It seems like a fairly direct route, either going from the east coast of Canada down through the Mediterranean, down through down through the Gulf of Mexico and into Colombia. Is it an easier port to get in and out of as opposed to others like Argentina or Brazil or Mexico?
It's funny. The world is small, and there's few direct from Canada. We're talking ocean ships direct to Colombia. There's transshipping happening in the Caribbean anyway, and so since that transshipping is happening, and then it'd be a smaller ship going into the Colombian ports. I don't think that that's an issue that you need to worry about on any level. I think in 7 to 10 days, your goods arrive and it'll be there. The flower business, you got to remember the Colombian rose business that comes here, the flower
Hmm.
business is incredible. And that's all flown. Whole planes are full of flowers that come here. So the airport stuff, it's super easy. When flowers come from Colombia, fresh cut flowers, some are tropicals, some are not. When they arrive, they have to be vacuumed to get the carbon dioxide off them, and that'll preserve their life. And you will find that something that was cut in Colombia on Tuesday will actually have a 3 week life here in Canada. It's remarkable the way they do
Wow.
it so well. They treat it so well. Um, and in fact, in the world in Argentina, Peru, Brazil, Chile, and Colombia, fresh sliced tropical fruit, sliced, can be done in that country and on the shelves of a supermarket in Canada in 48 hours.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So if you have fresh sliced mango in those little plastic bubble containers for $8.99 in Canada, it is that slicing happened, you know, millions of miles around the globe, far, far away. So,
When we
uh,
talk about, let's talk about your favorite topics. Um, if you want to do business in Colombia, should you have a partner in Colombia? If you want to do business in Colombia, you must go to Colombia. It's a Spanish speaking country. So if you speak
labeling.
Spanish, great. But if you don't, should you have an interpreter there or do they speak English? So let's cover your favorite topics there.
So here's the unique situation in Colombia. Yes, you have to go and make that introduction, but a partner there who is a representative of many different companies can be your partner.
Hmm.
Okay? Because it's close enough to North America that some of the North American style of distribution is perfectly doable, where you're really talking remotely, you're speaking, online and through WhatsApp and all that stuff. Um, what I think is more concerning is making sure that your promotional material, your marketing material is all in the right Spanish and Colombian Spanish, and you're abiding by all the right labeling things. Also, that you have some kind of marketing to pull through your product for a final sale. But the actual doing business, a lot of it can be done online. And I think that is kind of a remarkable and a unique situation for Colombia versus Chile and Peru and the rest of the countries.
Peter, you made a very, very good point there that I found this out myself that a word in one Spanish speaking country can be okay. It could be a colloquialism. It could be a compliment. But in another Spanish speaking country, it could be a very, very naughty word. And no matter what you're doing, you always need to seek the advice of a professional if you are thinking about going outside of Canada of course, like our friends at Mellowhawk. We have been in conversation with Peter Hawkins, the Senior Vice President with Mellowhawk Logistics. Peter, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Dave.